Good morning, students. Chapter 1, Earth as a Planet. In the first part of this chapter, we have studied about the shape of the Earth. Shape of the Earth is geoid, and this has been proved through the number of theories like lunar eclipse, circumnavigation of the Earth, and aerial photograph. Now, in this chapter, we are going to study about the Earth as a home of humankind. First is the distribution of land and water. Now, Earth is a planet where water and land both is present, and water is twice as compared to land. Water is 71%, land is 29%, and its distribution is uneven. If you see, in the northern hemisphere, the area of land and water are nearly equal, but in southern hemisphere, water is 15 times more than land. You can see in the globe or in the map also that this arrangement is directly opposite to each other in both the hemisphere. Northern hemisphere is griddled with all the important continents like North America, parts of Africa, Europe and Asia. But in the southern hemisphere, the landmass are narrow, like South America, Africa, and Australia. Even if we talk about the Antarctica landmass, it is just opposite to Arctic Ocean in the northern pole. And in Antarctica landmass, there are three protruding points. Means points which is towards northern side. They are pointing towards South America, Africa, and Australia. So it makes a balance on the Earth. Next, Earth, the only planet with a life on it, and it is because of the biosphere. Biosphere is what? That is presence of land, air, and water on the surface. Lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. All the living beings are interlinked in sustaining life system called environment. So because of that, the life is possible on the earth. Now we have different cycles like energy cycle, heat cycle, carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, water cycle, which helps in completing this environment. First one is solar energy. Solar energy is in the ecological balance. Solar energy have a very important role because it helps in transferring the molecules called photochemical process, and this photochemical process helps in biosphere in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process through which plants makes its food in the presence of sunlight, water. Okay, now this completes the plant's life, that it able to grow with the help of a solar energy. Second is nitrogen cycle. Now we have 78% of nitrogen present in atmosphere, and this nitrogen is important for the growth of plants. If the lacking means if it is less than 78%, then it is harmful for the crop. If you can see in the diagram, like green plants are there, animals eat that plant. When they die, it decomposes and again mixes in the soil and produces the gas. In the same way, the aquatic animals, they also eat up the green grasses which grows inside the water, or aquatic plants which are found inside. They also eat and they die. When the decomposition of dead animals take place, they produces ammonia. Thus, the cycle of nitrogen is maintained. Means animals, they eat, they after some time they die also, they produces chemicals and it get mixes in the air. In this way, the nitrogen cycle is complete. Next is heat cycle. Heat cycle is very important because Earth receives 100% of sun rays or sun heat, but it is not 100% reaching to the Earth's surface. Out of this, 55% was absorbed or reflected by Earth. Now, how it is done? Because on the way of a heat or a sun rays, we have different layers of atmosphere. We have ozone layer which absorbs the heat. On the way we have dust particles, and on the surface of the earth we have snow covered peaks which act as a reflector. When the sunlight falls on it, it reflects back. So because of that, only 45% of heat is received by the earth, rest is reflected back. So in this way, heat is managed on the earth. If 100% received by the earth, then the life is very difficult. Why? Because the water will evaporate, the temperature will be very high. So heat cycle is important. Next is oxygen cycle. Oxygen supports life, you all know that, and also help in maintaining ecological balance. Like man and animals inhale oxygen and exhales carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide is taken by the plants. So just to maintain oxygen cycle, we have to conserve forest, we have to do planting of trees so that always there is a pure oxygen we can get to breathe. Now, water cycle. Water cycle is a process of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Evaporation means when the heat is more, wherever the water is there, because of the heat, it heated up and start evaporating. Even the transpiration take place. Transpiration means water evaporates from the leaves of the trees. That's called transpiration. It gets added in the evaporation. After evaporation, condensation take place, means the cooling up of the water vapors take place, and then precipitation. Then the water comes back again on the earth's surface in the form of a rain or snow. So this life cycle is continuous, water cycle is continuous, and it is very important on the earth. Now, conditions which favors life on the earth. The first one is optimum distance from the sun. Sun is neither too close nor far from the sun. Like Mercury and Venus, they are too close to the sun, the temperature is very high. Uranus and Neptune very far, the temperature is very less. So the life is not possible on those planets. But on the earth it is possible. Second is atmosphere. In the atmosphere, essential gases are present like oxygen, nitrogen, and noble gases. So this provides life supporting gases. Other planets also have gases, but the composition of gases is different, or they are poisonous gases, so the life is not possible. The last one is water cycle. Water cycle is unique feature of the life because water is important for the growth of the plants and surviving of the life on the earth. So these are the things which helps the life on the earth. These are the favorable conditions like optimum distance, essential gases, and water cycle. I think now the chapter is clear to you. If any queries are there, you can ask me. Thank you.